Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Titli's Busy Kitchen with me, Titli. Cordial, smoothie, jam, sorbet. For my blackcurrant sorbet, I've got yet another kilogram of blackcurrants from my garden, 250 grams of white sugar, 100 grams of glucose syrup. Now, I got this from my local pharmacy, and if I can get glucose syrup in a one-horse town in the middle of nowhere, I'm sure you'll be able to get some too. But if you can't, just use corn syrup and the juice of a lemon. I've put 500 ml of water in a pan. I'm going to add in the sugar and turn on the heat. Stir to dissolve the sugar. Once the sugar has dissolved, add in the lemon juice and the syrup. Take your time, there's no hurry. I've got all day. Here's a little tip for you. A good way to get it out of the container is to take a teaspoon, dip it in the hot liquid and then run it around the inside of the container, and it just picks up the glucose syrup really easily. Stir it all around, make sure it's well mixed and continue to bring to the boil. Once it comes to the boil, add in the blackcurrants. When it comes to the boil, turn the heat down and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, turn off the heat and give it a stir, and then, wait for it, whack out the whizzy toy! Whatever you do, don't splash this over yourself. Now pour the liquid through a fine sieve. Use a spoon to help it through if you need to. And what you should end up with is this lovely, smooth, syrupy liquid. Now, I'm going to allow it to cool, but I'm just going to cover it with a plate. Don't cover it with cling film because you'll get some really bizarre things happening. This is nice and cool now, so what we'll do next is we'll pop it into our ice cream maker. Stop right there. But maybe you don't have an ice cream maker, so we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Get yourself a nice empty ice cream tub and pour in the lovely liquid. Scrape it out with your rubber spatula. Then pop on the lid and put this into the freezer for about 3 hours or so. After a few hours, take it out of the freezer. And you'll see that it's started to freeze around the edges here. Just pull that away with a spoon and then beat it a little either with a hand whisk or an electric whisk. 10 or 15 seconds is fine at this stage. Pop the lid back on and then pop it back in the freezer. After another hour or so, take it out of the freezer, scoop it round. Give it another very quick whiz, 10 or 15 seconds. Then back in the freezer again. Every hour or so, check the sorbet. You can see it's really sort of grainy in texture. You want to keep these ice crystals from growing too big. So, beat them again. And back in the freezer. Eventually, after a few cycles of freezing and beating, it should start to look really quite smooth. Smooth the sorbet down into the tub and then pop it back in the freezer. Delicious blackcurrant sorbet, best served in the small cat. So far in my adventures, I've used about 3.6 kilos of blackcurrants, and look, I've still got another 6 kilos here in my freezer. And there's at least another 2 kilos on the bushes. Will nobody rid me of these troublesome blackcurrants? Join me next time in Titli's Busy Kitchen with me, Titli. Until next time, Khuda Hafiz.